Kalyado mong kamay sa hirap ng buhay. Dami mong problema, naku mo pang ngumiti. No'y biglang na astig. Saan ka man naroroon, huwag kang matatakot. Sa baril o patalim, sa bakas na madilim. Hoy! Pinoy ako! May agimat ang dugo ko. Hoy! Oh, Pinoy ako. May agimat ang dugo ko. Hinahanap kong kulo. Ilang beses na akong muntikang mamatay. O alam ko ang sekreto, kaya't nandito ba't buhay. O sabi nila may anting-anting ako, pero di nila alam na Diyos ang dahilan ko. Hoy! Pinoy ako! Buo aking loob, may agimat ang dugo ko. Hoy! Oh, Pinoy ako, may agimat ang dugo ko.
Through underground caverns. The temperature is relatively constant from north to south throughout the year. The Philippines has two main weather seasons, rainy and dry. The dry season usually begins in December and ends in May, the first 3 months being the coolest and the second 3 the hottest. Thus, the most pleasant weather is usually from November through February. Given the geographic, geological, and tectonic settings of the Philippine archipelago, the Philippines is prone to earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and typhoons. The converging Eurasian and Pacific plates are constantly squeezing and crunching the Philippines, changing its features and affecting its history. One of the most memorable eruptions took place in 1991, when a long-dormant volcano named Mount Pinatubo spewed some 5 billion cubic meters of pyroclastic flow materials. Because of the immense volume of debris, the river spilled over and even changed courses, wiping villages off the map. Floodwaters inundated large areas, turning them into economic wastelands overnight. The eruption also triggered the displacement and eventual evacuation of employees at the 2 U.S. military bases, the Clark Air Base and the Subic Naval Station. Pinatubo has come to be synonymous with the erratic climate changes worldwide that proceeded from Pinatubo's effect on the atmosphere. Numerous other unique geological formations dot the islands. Taal Lake, the most unique of the world's large lakes, is actually a lake in an island in a lake in an island in the sea. Past eruptions since 1572 left Taal Lake, itself said to be a former crater, a dramatic tableau. Mayon volcano has a near-perfect cone maintained by eruptions that occur only in the same place, and a style of eruption that's not too explosive.
The famous Chocolate Hills provides a striking panorama of more than 1,000 dome-shaped hills rising out of the ground.
Standing shoulder to shoulder, one behind another, might seem more the endeavor of human hands than of nature. These limestone formations are thought to be formed some 2 million years ago when the area laid underwater. As the movements of waves and currents carried particles of coral, shell, and silt towards the shore, fine layers formed upon layers, creating mounds and formations. Over a very long time, these formations eventually rose above the water, while constant rainfall and currents sculpted ridges and channels throughout to define the hills as they now exist.
Then there is what is referred to as the eighth wonder of the world, the Banawe rice terraces. Carved into the hills using primitive tools and bare hands, the Ifugao tribespeople constructed the terraces for the sole purpose of feeding their people. More than 2,000 years later, the architectural design remains breathtaking.
The Filipino people have indefatigable optimism in the face of political upheavals. The Philippines has seen several years of dictatorship and corrupt governments. The most memorable administration known for these characteristics was that of Ferdinand Marcos, who stayed in power from 1965 to 1986. With outside pressures threatening to overthrow the government, such as the rise of the Communist Party of the Philippines and the Moro National Liberation Front separatist group, President Ferdinand Marcos abolished Congress and imposed martial law on the country. His dictatorship lasted nearly 21 years. The impact that the administration made on Filipinos showed the true heart of democracy that continues to expand today. A key event that led to the ousting of Marcos was the assassination of Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr., a senator who was exiled from the Philippines for his outspoken beliefs on conflicting ideas and his popularity amongst the masses. Ninoy had always been an advocate for a peaceful resolution to the ongoing political concerns within his country. In a speech given in 1981, he spoke of his intentions.
Mr. Marcos, hear the cry of your people. You have been in office for 16 years. We do not want your blood. We do not want revenge. We do not want to hurt your family. We only ask that freedom be returned.
In 1983, Ninoy returned to the Philippines and was mysteriously shot in the airport tarmac, initiating a string of riots and protests around the country. Widow Cory Aquino continued her belated husband's mission by running for the presidency in the next election, but lost in a fraudulent election. The people were outraged, and Cory Aquino urged for a nonviolent protest. On February 22, 1986, Marcos's own defense minister and vice chief of staff refused to comply with the president and locked themselves inside the defense ministry headquarters in Manila. When Marcos sent troops to oust his old comrades, tanks found themselves face to face with hundreds of thousands of Filipinos who gathered outside armed with nothing but rosaries, flowers, and a united voice of the people. They sang and danced along Epifanio de los Santos Avenue for 4 days until Marcos surrendered and left the country. The EDSA People Power Revolution is the first bloodless revolt and set precedents for the region and the world. Ninoy would have been proud to see that his unyielding efforts had paid off. In the speech that was left unread, he quoted Gandhi by saying,
"The willing sacrifice of the innocent is the most powerful answer to insolent tyranny that has yet been conceived by God and man."